go there. And this morning you find me with a haircut and a nice beard trim. Still got a beard, so this is still Beards and Bangers, don't worry. But today we're getting all nostalgic because I'm driving a car that I used to own. Not the car that I used to own, but a car very similar. An MG ZR160 in Monogram Twilight.
Welcome to Beards and Bangers.
So the MGZs came about because the Rover Group had been taken over by the Phoenix Consortium, and the Phoenix 4, the Fab 4, yeah, them guys who we know all about, wanted to give Rover a bit of a shake up, so they decided to create Z versions of the Rover 75, 45 and 25. So the ZR is based on a Rover 25, which of course is the successor of the Rover 200. So the R3, we're talking about the R3 platform. So of course the ZR160, it's got the 1.8K series. We'll have a look under the bonnet in a minute. But this is, yeah, the hot hatch version that MG Rover came up with. Now they had some other variants. So they had the 1.4, and that was putting out about 103 brake horsepower. They had the 120, so with a 1.8 non-VVC engine, and that was putting out about 120 brake horsepower, 118 I think to be more accurate. There was the 2-litre diesel carrying the L series engine, again putting out about 115 brake horsepower. But the star of the show, the top of the range one, was the ZR160. So it's got the 1.8 K series engine with the VVC. So we'll have a look under the bonnet and talk about that in a bit more detail. Don't normally start with the engine bay, but I'm going to for this review, just because this is the beating heart of an MG ZR160. So this car is a successor to the Rover 200 VI, the Rover 200 BRM and the Rover 25 GTI. So we've got this VVC set up here. So we've got a standard air intake, but this then goes into this VVC control. That's variable valve control. And what that does is it basically creates a nice torque curve. So once you hit about 4,500 RPM, the car just keeps going. So you've really got to get it into that power band to get the best out of it. Now, K-series engines, you know, some people go, oh no, they're unreliable engines. They're not. They're good engines. They're tremendously revvy. I think I've said this on every K-series car I've reviewed. They're revvy units. They're really good. You just got to make sure you're maintaining them. If the head gasket hasn't been done, ask for proof. Ask for proof that it has been done. If it hasn't, then you need to consider whether the car's worth getting or not, or factor the price in accordingly. But yeah, really good engines. The VVC, there's a bit of a debate over whether people prefer the VVC or to have the car sort of tuned in a standard way. You know, tuning is possible with these cars. There's various people out there who can provide uprated ECUs. Yeah, this is a pretty clean engine bay. I do like this this bespoke oil filler cap. But yeah, there's the engine bay of the MG ZR160. What Lisa, and I must thank Lisa very kindly for lending me this car this morning to have a look at. And what Lisa's very cleverly done is put gas struts on the boot, because that just means you haven't got to be faffing around with the stay all the time. And I think, yeah, that's something I'm definitely going to do on my Streetwise, just to make life a little bit easier. But yeah, that's a really nice touch. We shall shut the boot. And let's just have a look at this car. So this is a Monogram. So Monogram is a program that the Phoenix Consortium, or MG Rover Group as they were officially called, brought in to give the buyers of these cars a bit of choice. They could choose some other sort of interior options as well. This is Monogram Twilight. So this is the 6th of 10 cars made in this colour, or 10 ZRs made in this colour, and it really is a beautiful colour. Now the R3s are an attractive car. They still look fresh today. I think that's true of a lot of Rover Group and MG Rover Group products. But yeah, this one is lovely. So key differences with this and a 25, we're a bit lower. I think we're 25mm lower. We've got, of course, got 17-inch 16 spoke straight wheels. We've got a bit of body kit going on round here, but yeah, they're just a really nice nicely designed car. You know, it doesn't matter whether you're looking at a 25 or a ZR, but this one is particularly handsome, shall we say. It's been featured at various kind of events. It was at it was pride of ownership at the MG 100 event at Silverstone a few months ago. So it's a fairly well-known car. Yeah, but this one is particularly pretty. I just love the R3 shape, that bubble shape, and of course with the ZR 160 you've got this much bigger spoiler, which people do buy and put on other cars. But yeah, just have a look at the shape of the car. It's really, really nice. Now this one's got a stainless steel exhaust. I have driven it here this morning, and it's not rude, but it's got a very pleasing little raspy note. So it's yeah, it's a nice sounding car. But what I want to do now is get out and give it a drive. So before we set off on our jaunt, just have a quick look at the interior. Won't go through it in massive detail because you've seen me reviewing this shape of car before. The key thing to note, this is a facelift car, so you've got the single piece headlamps at the front, which you just seen a moment ago, but we've got the facelift dash as well. So bit of a school of thought that, you know, the Mark 1 dashes were better. They probably are, but this was just designed to be a little bit more modern. One feature here is we've got a working clock, which is quite remarkable. This one has got a sunroof. I'm not going to open it. I don't open other people's sunroofs. That's down to them. The headlining's been redone in black, a bit like my ZT 190. And I do like black headlines. I think they're very attractive. We've got a pretty decent sound system. We've got some pretty meaty speakers in the boot there. I haven't tried the sound system out, but I'm sure it sounds wonderful. But yeah, you've got aircon. You've got aircon in these cars, which is nice. Yeah, and everything else is pretty standard facelift ZR R3, call it what you will. So we'll get out and give the car a little drive. So we'll fire the engine up, see what it sounds like. So that exhaust note, it's a nice rumbly sound, but it's not in your face. So my ZR 160 was obviously it wasn't a Monogram, it was X-Power grey, so quite boring. But I had a Scorpion exhaust straight through, and that was just a little bit too loud, particularly if you're going for a motorway drive. Whereas this has got an absolutely delightful exhaust note. It's got the clutch has got quite a snap on it, which I quite like. It's the PG1 box in this car just feels really good. The brakes feel good. The steering is lovely. It's very direct, but it's quite light, so you're not struggling to turn the wheel. So yeah, my first impressions of this car are that it's bloody lovely. So let's get out on the open road and give it a bit of a blast. Right, so let's see if we can get out of this junction and just begin to hear the lovely note on this engine. I've got the window open just so we can get a bit of a feedback. Apologies if the sound's a bit windy. Oh, that's nice. There's a bit of a pop as well on the exhaust, which I do like on these. Yeah, I think those stainless exhausts on a 1.8 VVC just sound really good. A lot of people don't go, oh no, stainless steel exhaust, it changes the character of a car. Oh well, I think it changes it for the better personally. Yeah, so the last 1.8 VVC I've driven is my BRM. These are, I have to say, a different beast, and if I'm being brutally honest, I prefer the setup of a ZR to the BRM. Some people are going to be mortified that I've said that, but it's just everything's a bit tauter. You've obviously got a bit more in the engine as well. Not that you can't do that with a BRM, but it's got this little bit lower. Power steering's possibly a bit better. Let's give it some revs. Yeah, that's lovely. That's really nice. Put the window up so we're not too noisy for you. Yeah, this has got a really nice quiet engine. The gear change is so crisp. It's really, really nice. It just makes me really regret selling mine last year. I thought I was moving house. I just bought the 260, and at that time I didn't want to have too many cars. Obviously things have changed quite dramatically now. But yeah, these are cracking cars, and this one is just such a pretty little car in this Twilight colour. It's just really nice. Right, I'll get you on beard cam for a minute, and we'll take it for a bit of a blast round here, just so you get some front-facing action, which I know you will like. Oh, I do like driving these. I really do like driving these. Oh, in the wrong lane. Let's quickly slide across there. I want to go down here towards a place called Cock Foster's. Hopefully this Fiesta in front is gonna not do what I want them to do and put their foot down a little bit. I don't want them to go mad, just everything's so tight on this car. So the steering feels tight, the suspension feels good. The suspension, although it's much harder than a 25, of course, it's not uncomfortable. It's not jarring your bones and your spine if you go over a contour or bump in the road. I definitely think the setup on this is better than my one. Yeah, that's lovely. Right, so we'll use this roundabout to give us some space to... Oh, I'm going to make it round. Well, not quite. Oh. Turning circle on these isn't great, but we have got some open road. I'm rather in love with the clutch on this car. I think it just lends itself so well to spirited driving. I'm not going to do that for the whole test drive, because it's someone else's car. We didn't take it up to the red line there. That was up to about 5,500 RPM, so just really getting into that VVC zone and letting it see what it can do. But that was effortlessly up to speed, and it was smooth as well, and a really, really nice engine note. I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was brilliant. Yeah, these cars are super appreciating in value, so if it's a car that you're interested in, now is probably the time to buy. Used car values, particularly modern classics, seem to be doing a bit weird things at the moment, I think. But I do think the ZR, they've really come of age. I think people have suddenly realised what a cracking car they are, particularly in a world where hot hatches just really don't seem to exist anymore. But that is so lovely. Really like this car. Thank you, Lisa. So what a lovely drive out in this Monogram MG ZR 160. So it's been over a year since I've driven one of these. It's been an absolute hoot. Thank you for watching. Please continue to like, subscribe, share, do all those kinds of things if you want to see cars like this. And once again, thanks to Lisa. And I will see you again very soon on the next episode of Beards and Bangers. Goodbye.